Hi, Patrick here, and welcome to Instant Customer TV. Today, we're going to talk about hypnotherapy and NLP, and we're going to explore those topics. And with us, we have Gemma Bailey, who is the director of the Hypnotherapy and NLP Clinic. So, Gemma, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you here. So, I thought maybe what we could do is we could start with the question, what is hypnotherapy, and how is it different from NLP?
Yeah, good question, because they are actually two different forms of therapeutic intervention. Hypnotherapy is the one that people tend to be most familiar with because most people will have seen some of the funky stage show stuff back in the 80s where hypnosis was used for entertainment purposes. Now, of course, hypnotherapy isn't the same as that. It's hypnosis, but for therapeutic purposes. So we tend not to have you dancing around like chickens or pretending to be Elvis or anything like that. It's more about achieving a very deep, relaxed state so that in that state it's much easier for us to access your unconscious mind and to give suggestions about things that might help to change or improve a situation. When we're in that nice relaxed state, it's much easier for us to process information that's coming in, and that's why hypnotherapy can be so effective for things like overcoming habits, phobias, giving up smoking, and even losing weight. Now, it's not the best fit for everybody, and it's something that, in a way, you need to do it to find out whether it's going to be an effective form of treatment for you. I've met plenty of people who have said, this will never work for me, and then it's turned out to be very effective. So it's definitely something that's worth exploring if you're interested in achieving some quick results and also some long-lasting results from something that you wish to change or improve about yourself. NLP is a different form of therapy in that it's more of a cognitive form of therapy. It stands for neuro-linguistic programming, which doesn't help you to understand what it is at all, but it's made up of lots of different strategies and techniques, so there's no one thing that really describes what NLP is. Part of it's to do with making some changes to what you think and how you think so that you have more helpful thought processes. Part of it's also to do with strategies to manage your emotions and how you feel in certain situations. And then there are also techniques for changing habits and the way that you behave and react in the outside world. So hypnotherapy is very good for making changes to the unconscious. So those are the behaviors that you do without thinking about it. It's automatic, and you possibly even know that you shouldn't be doing them. Whereas NLP is useful for a more cognitive approach, so for making conscious changes. It's useful for building up our willpower, for example, and for having us make some quick changes with some very simple techniques.
Okay, sounds really good. So why do people come to this kind of therapy or seeking out a therapist that are, good with these kind of methods?
I think there's a couple of reasons. Firstly, there are, of course, cognitive and talking type therapeutic sessions that are available now through the NHS. However, one of the downsides is that these tend to take an awful long time before they begin and are not necessarily always very consistent. So I think one of the reasons why people look at this as an alternative is because it's a very timely approach. You can decide that you need some help or some form of intervention and be with a therapist within the next few days. So that's certainly one of the reasons. I think the other is that it's also about giving people an element of choice. Sometimes people may have been referred in a particular direction for some form of intervention that would be useful for them, either from a mild mental health perspective or for helping them to manage their emotions in a better way. But typically, when they've gone through that channel, there is a service that's offered to you and you're stuck with it. The advantage of doing something like this is it means that you have some choices about who you end up working with and how your sessions operate, how they pan out. So it really gives people a sense of control. Those, I would say, are two of the main reasons why people look at interventions such as this. I think the third, and probably one of the most important ones, is the speed and effectiveness with which these techniques tend to work. In days gone by, people were perhaps attending counselling sessions, psychotherapy sessions, possibly for years. With the kind of work that we're doing using hypnotherapy and NLP, we're looking at a much faster turnaround in terms of achieving the results that people are looking for. So typically it's going to be somewhere between 2, maybe up to 5 sessions, but very rarely more than that.
Okay, great. So what can people expect from having a hypnotherapist or an NLP therapist?
I think what you can expect from this form of treatment is that it's going to work at a pace and a rate that suits you, because it's highly personalized. You would also expect that the practitioner that you're working with is someone who is qualified and ticks all the boxes. So, you know, really looking out for someone who has their liability insurance in place, a DBS check, such as their police check, for example, so that you know you're going to be safe working with that particular practitioner. Now these, because this is an unregulated industry, are all things that you need to research for yourself initially. So make sure that you do ask those questions. But typically what we're looking to see is that you're working with someone who is highly qualified, has professional standards that they adhere to, and that they're going to be offering you a really highly personalized service.
Okay, great. But this leads us into the next question I had in mind here, and that is, what are maybe 3, 4 things that you could, because people are watching right now, they might feel a desire or to move forward or do something about the situation. They might be frustrated or in some pain in their present desired state, and they want to go to their desired state. So what are maybe some 3, 4 things you think can help our audience to choose the best hypnotherapist for that?
I think there are 3 really important things. The first is consultation. The second is connection, and the third one is goals. So individually, the consultation typically is going to be a free introductory session. So you have that opportunity to dip your toes into the water and find out a little bit more about the practitioner that you're going to be working with. So you can explore things like their qualifications and credentials, but you can also find out how they're going to be helping you. What specifically will you be doing in those sessions together? As a spin-off from that, what you're looking to achieve then is that you have a very clear connection with this person. The clients that I work with who say, oh, I've been to sessions like this before, or I've had hypnosis before, and it didn't hit the spot for me. The next question I always ask them is, did you feel at ease with your practitioner? Did you feel comfortable with them? And usually they'll say no. With these kinds of talking therapies, it's really important that you feel a connection with your practitioner, and I mean a positive connection with them. You feel at ease with them and you feel like you have good rapport. So the consultation is important because it gives you an opportunity to test out that connection and to make sure that you're going to be comfortable working with each other, and that you feel a sense of ease, like this person is really going to be able to help you to move forwards in the right direction. The third thing is the goals. You need to be very clear on where you are now, but also where it is you want to get to, so that the sessions that you do together aren't just bumbling along from one week to the next. You need to know what the outcomes are before you get started, so that you know when you've achieved them, and that that's the point when the sessions can finish.
Okay, great. Thank you for that advice. And I think maybe another thing that might be important also for the viewers to know about is that you have had great success with your therapy and the way you approach it. So maybe you can share with us a little bit, what is your approach to therapy and what makes it unique? Maybe you can share that with us.
I think the reason why it's been so successful is because of that initial consultation session. I'm really clear that if I don't think that I'm in a position to help someone, or I'm perhaps not the right practitioner for them, then I make sure that they know about it, because I want to achieve success for myself as much as I want to achieve success for them. So sometimes it might be the case that the therapist that you see isn't going to be the right person for you, and that perhaps they'll be referring you on in the direction of somebody else who's perhaps a little bit more highly skilled in a particular area. So I think having that initial consultation session in place is so important, because you get to test out with each other. You're going to be right working together. Can you offer them the skills that they require, and to also formulate that initial plan about how things are going to move forward from there. For me, very often the consultation session is a point where the degree of agreement that we're getting from each other is such that really from there the sessions become the simplest part of what we're doing. So I think that's part and parcel of why these sessions that I do have been so successful for people, because we lay down the right foundations at the very start.
Interesting, very interesting. So people are watching now, and some of them are interested, and you can see now the power of NLP and hypnotherapy and how it can transform your life and take you from where you are to where you want to be. So Gemma, the people are watching now, they want to take that next step. Is there something special that you want to offer them who want to take action today?
Absolutely. We have practitioners dotted around all over the country, and a good flurry of them around the southeast of the country as well. Our practitioners do offer a free consultation service, so I would be very happy to extend that out to anybody who's watching this video today. However, the other thing that I would add is that these are private sessions. We are asking for people to make a financial investment in their personal development, and I think that that's really important to mention as well, because in terms of making changes and improvement in your life, you have to invest yourself in some way. So we will offer a free consultation to anyone who is interested in exploring this a little bit further, and then from there you can have a one-to-one conversation with the practitioner that you're working with about how you might like to move things forward in the future.
Okay, great. And they can reach you on the website, is that correct? It's I'm going to go here on a limb, but it's hypnotherapy and NLP.co.uk, is that correct?
That's perfect, yeah. So it's hypnotherapy and NLP.co.uk.
Okay, great. So you can go there right now. You have the details here below, so you can go there for more information, book in a session, get that free consultation, and take the step to go from where you are to where you want to be, and make the results that you want to have in your life. And Gemma, thank you so much for being here and sharing your time with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.